Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rose, and welcome to episode 271 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. This show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe in your favorite and leave a review. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations and social media platforms that you can follow at Xboxin10. To start, let's talk game releases. The big game out last week was Star Wars Bounty Hunter Remaster, and the games coming out this week include Bleak Faith Forsaken, Signy All Guns Blazing, Pepper Grinder, Eden Genesis, Seed of Life, Volgar the Viking 2, Creatures of Ava, Caddy, I Want to Go to Mars, Tilting Tiles, The Lullaby of Life, Airy, Ancient Empires, Cat Quest 3, Dead Age 2, Cultist Simulator Initiate Edition, Deathbound, Honeyland, SteamWorld Heist 2. That time I got reincarnated as a slime Isekai Chronicles, and Gravitators. We have one new edition on the way coming to Xbox Game Pass, and that is Mafia Definitive Edition, joining Xbox, console, cloud, and PC Game Pass on August 13th. Now on to last week's biggest news stories, and we have 5 to cover this week. Number 1, Xbox hardware revenue down 42% from last year as Activision acquisition continues to boost content sales. Rebecca Valentine at IGN writes, Xbox hardware sales are way down again in Microsoft's Q4, while gaming content sales skyrocketed again thanks to the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year. The company posted its earnings today, which included a report of hardware revenue down 42% year over year. Hardware sales saw a significant dip of 31% year over year last quarter as well, though sales were up slightly 3% in Q2, thanks to a series of holiday discounts and promotions. But hardware was also down 7% prior to that in Q1, and yes, dropping steadily for several quarters prior to that too. For what it's worth, Xbox is far from the only console maker seeing dips in hardware sales. Everyone's impacted according to Circana's most recent report. Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo all say, quote, double-digit percentage declines, end quote, in May of 2024, and the Switch saw the most significant drop. This is likely reflective of the fact that all 3 consoles are on the back half of their life cycles, and is reflective of fairly normal, cyclical industry trends. Xbox has already confirmed that a next-gen console is in the works, and has expressed plans to share more information about hardware of some sort around this holiday season. Gaming revenue overall appears to be doing more than fine in terms of year-on-year comparisons, even setting quarterly records. This is largely due to the boost offered by the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It wasn't there to make money for the company last year. Now it is, so the numbers have gone up. Gaming revenue was up 44% year over year, but with 48 points of net impact from the acquisition. This indicates that Xbox's not Activision Blizzard related business isn't doing quite as well as it was last year. Xbox content and services revenue fared better, up 61% year over year with 58 points of net impact from the acquisition. Overall, Microsoft's more personal computing division, which includes Xbox as well as other segments such as Windows, brought in $15.9 billion in revenue, up 14% year over year. Microsoft will hold its Q4 earnings call and field questions from investors and analysts shortly. So again, how much is there to be surprised by this news? And we will really know the effects of the Activision Blizzard, say, in another year, when they're going to be comparing more apples to apples versus apples to oranges, with oranges being Xbox before the acquisition and apples being now with the Activision Blizzard acquisition. I am very intrigued to see how Xbox is going to handle the next gen, and apparently this handheld that is on the way. I am really eager to get my hands on this handheld. As people continue to fall in love with the Steam Deck, I wish I could just access my Xbox digital library that I've been building for years and years and years and have it on the go to be able to play in bed. And I'm hoping we get a little tease of that this year, and maybe we get the handheld next year with the next gen console big launch the following year. Number 2, Obsidian reportedly looking to delay Xbox exclusive Avowed into 2025. Tom West at True Achievements writes, we might need to wait a little longer to start unlocking the Avowed achievements, as Obsidian is potentially preparing to push its Xbox's release date back. Avowed is reportedly being delayed into 2025 due to the number of upcoming Game Pass games arriving at the end of this year, and Obsidian wants to give its Xbox RPG some breathing room. As reported by The Verge's Tom Warren in the latest edition of Notepad, quote, Obsidian is about to announce an Avowed delay to 2025, end quote. As with any rumor, we suggest you take this with a pinch of salt until official word comes from Obsidian, especially as Warren has only heard the news. Apparently, quote, Avowed is in good shape, end quote, and this is just a case of giving it some breathing room from the number of other games launching later this year. While Avowed has only officially been given a fall 2024 release window, an Xbox Wire post earlier this year suggested it could launch on November 12th. As it stands, launch date would see the game drop among some pretty big releases, such as Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on October 25th, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 on November 19th, and Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, which was recently delayed out of September, on November 20th. Outside of Game Pass, Ubisoft is also launching Assassin's Creed Shadows on November 15th. However, that's only games with confirmed release dates. We've also got Aria History Untold, Ark 2, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle all sitting with release windows for this fall, as well as potential for numerous Activision games to join Xbox Game Pass. I think this makes complete sense, and it seems like it's the move they need to do. We have been hearing that they have been working on tuning and need some extra time polishing up Avowed going into this season already, and now with all these big game releases coming out, and especially with that Stalker 2 delay, why crowd an already crowded space, especially with your own games potentially cannibalizing one another? Give it some room, launch it in January or February, and let's all enjoy a better product as they have time to polish that up. Number 3, Xbox announces 3 days of live broadcasts for Gamescom 2024. Wesley Impool at IGN writes, Microsoft has fully revealed its plans for Gamescom 2024, and they include 3 days of live broadcasts. In a post on Xbox Wire, Microsoft said it will host a series of daily streams from its Xbox booth at the show, running from Wednesday, August 21st to Friday, August 23rd. These will offer a deeper dive into various games Xbox is set to release over the coming months, with first look gameplay, developer chats, and new trailers. Microsoft-owned Bethesda will also host daily content streams from the booth. Games set to appear during these streams include Stalker 2, Atomfall, Age of Mythology, Star Wars Outlaws, World of Warcraft's expansion, The World Within, Towerborn, Avowed, and Aria History Untold. Microsoft is heavily rumored to be set to release an Xbox handheld, but it looks like Gamescom 2024 won't be the platform for an announcement. Instead, the focus here is on already announced games, such as Obsidian's Avowed, Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws, and GSC's Game World Stalker 2. Bethesda is of course running MMOs Fallout 76 and The Elder Scrolls Online, and is set to release Starfield's expansion Shattered Space later this year. No games from Microsoft-owned Activision were mentioned in Xbox's post, but Blizzard is attending the show off World of Warcraft and Diablo 4 expansions. This is cool, and I do think it helps set expectations. Do not expect any major announcements, but further deep dives into all the games that we already know are coming in roughly the next 6 months or so. Number 4, the next Destiny game codenamed Payback has reportedly been cancelled. George Yang at GameSpot writes, the next Destiny game, codenamed Payback, was reportedly cancelled a while ago, and it looks like Sony will be supporting Destiny 2 for the near future. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, Destiny developer Bungie was reportedly working on Payback, which was a spin-off. However, the project was reportedly cancelled a while ago, and only very early work on it was done. Schreier also clarified that a Destiny 3 was not cancelled because it was never in development anyway. Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb said on Game Mess Mornings that reportedly Bungie referred to Payback as the next Destiny and not Destiny 3, but it was indefinitely shelved. Quote, either way, let's be clear, a Destiny 3 or next Destiny is just not the thing that they are going to be coming out of, this looking toward, let alone working on in any real way, end quote, he explained. Additionally, Bungie is reportedly committed to supporting Destiny, but future content updates will be significantly smaller compared to the large expansions that the game has had in the past, like the most recent Final Shape. Reportedly, Bungie refers to them internally as content packs now. Bungie laid more than 200 people off yesterday, with some remaining employees transitioning to internal positions within now parent company Sony, as well as creating a new studio to work on a new action game. According to Grubb, Bungie reportedly still expects its extraction shooter Marathon to still hit its 2025 release window. Oh man, what a doozy. It really does seem like in some ways Sony had to come in and save Bungie, but also how bad does Sony look for even purchasing Bungie? I mean, what were they hiding from Sony that even made Sony want to spend as much money on them as they did? It's been really nothing but bad news since the purchase. Seeing some other rumors come out of this, like Lightfall apparently sold better than the Final Shape, which is just awful considering how much better the Final Shape is in basically every way. Seeing that Luke Smith is one of the people that reportedly was not let go but chose to leave as part of this restructuring. I mean, is Bungie even going to be the same Bungie we know in another year or two? I feel like a lot is going to be riding on Marathon, and let's just hope it hits. Otherwise, are we going to have another Bungie by the end of 2025? We shall see. Number 5, Valorant gets surprise launch on PS5 and Series X and S. Michael McWhorter at Polygon writes, Riot Games' tactical, competitive first-person shooter Valorant is now officially live on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, the developer announced on Friday. Like the existing PC version of the game, Valorant is free to play on consoles. The console release of Valorant is currently available to players in the United States, Canada, Europe, Japan, and Brazil. Quote, we received so much valuable feedback from players during limited beta and feel confident to deliver on our gameplay promise for console players, end quote, said Arnar Gulfason, production director of Valorant, in a news release. Developer says that the PC and console players will receive simultaneous platform releases of all live patch balances, new agents, maps, premium content, and additional live service features. Riot launched the original version of Valorant in June 2020. It was the company's second game after releasing League of Legends in 2009. I had to include this as this is one of the biggest PC games out there, and fun fact, I've never played a Riot game before. Yes, never even tried League of Legends. Smite was the MOBA back in the day, and hopefully in the future days with Smite 2, that I always played and really enjoyed. Really liked that perspective on that game versus the top-down on League of Legends. But Valorant being another team-based tactical shooter like Valve's Counter-Strike, which I have played a couple of matches of, just never did it for me. However, being free to play, being now on console, if my buddies want to join in one night, I will certainly give it a shot. As always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and this one is an unfun fact and something we have been talking in the weeks leading up to this, but wanted to get it on the record. Credit to Wesley Impool at IGN. Xbox fans are waving goodbye to the Xbox 360 marketplace, which shuts down today nearly 19 years after it launched. The Xbox 360 marketplace hit the internet alongside the Xbox 360 in November 2005 and brought with it a storefront that would become familiar to a generation of gamers. Microsoft shut down the Xbox 360 marketplace officially on July 29th. Man, what an end of an era, and what a truly next-generation console that we had comparing the Xbox to the 360. The marketplace, demos, party chat, playing with your friends online, just truly formational for me growing up and truly generational for all of the industry. The blades, just so many good memories back then. Thank you all for listening to the Xbox on 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe on your favorite podcast service, share it with your friends, leave a review, and follow on all social media at Xbox on 10. This past week I have not had much time to play at all with a busy week of work. That means Marvel Snap is the go-to game and all I've been playing on the side. Looking forward to jumping back into Elden Ring though when I have some time and hopefully finishing out that soon. I think I've officially crossed the 52-hour mark and I think level 104. My name is Brian Rose. You can follow me on Xbox at Bros93. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe and keep on gaming.